say it would be easy, but the chance to defeat Kane outright is too good to pass up. Agreed?
So there's Argon, Skyway open there. So this is all new stuff. It took a while. A long while. For days I battled Kane and died time and again, chalking up at least 24 deaths, probably more, recording my failures and remastering my design, until I finally came up with the strategy that would grant me my victory. Hello everyone, and welcome to the finale of Valencia Part 2. I decided against using anything that required multiplayer, extensive grinding, or crowns in my plan because not everyone plays multiplayer, so they wouldn't have doubloons readily available, and I felt I had to prove it could be done as a solo musketeer. I proved it alright. In this video, I'm going to recap the learning process I went through to develop my plan first, and then go into the battle with Kane. After the battle is done, I'll hand it back over to Past Me for a bit to show off the blind reaction. Hope you enjoy. Before I get into the battles, do note, before I started recording my attempts to battle Kane, I did some research beforehand. I first tried out any companion I ever used in combat more than once to get an idea of how they would perform in battle against Kane. And then I looked up companions people recommended and why they recommended them, taking into account the class making that recommendation, because it makes a huge difference. I also watched a video of a successful battle with Kane and read a blog post on it. Both of them were witch doctors. That's what Google gave me. Using what I learned from battling Kane with what I heard from the other players, I mixed and matched those with my crew to come up with my team for this battle. Old Scratch to act as a magic booster for all units in battle, Gracie Conrad for her golem to patch up faults in the Tempest or torpedoes. It's the bombs that have a chance to force enemies to slide when they trigger it. I nicknamed the spell the Electric Slide, and will refer to it as that for the rest of the video. And Louis Lebisque for his trap backup and for ranged offensive. Somewhere along the line, I did learn that Kane only moves one tile and will always make the same first move. And Bishop only moves 4 tiles, but typically moves until he is in range, his range being 5 tiles. If Bishop gets to the middle of the map, be ready to finish him off. So in this first battle, naturally, I learned a lot and I died. I found that the Electric Slide and Gracie's Golem need to cover every possible escape route for Queen together, or you won't last long against her onslaught. And the Golem demonstrated why, and Passant has the Cheap Shot logo on it in this battle, and he's the only one to trigger it from here on. While Queen charges on, I noticed the Claw Trap didn't trigger, and this is likely because she has Alert as an ability. So, maximize bombs to kill her, and use any claw traps to focus on someone else, like the pawns. They are called Armada Marines. For all intents and purposes in this battle, I will call them pawns because Kane chose the chest theme. Naturally, this is the last battle I have my pet in as well. While pets can grant abilities and assist in combat, in the case of my pet, the crits on it were not worth the raging blade storm on my companions after. For this reason, I would not recommend pets. Remember, Deacon has Overwatch and your pet may trigger that and then a double tap. However, the pet making things go bad did make me check and find out that there was no fear in running away, so long as you don't get within a tile of Rook, Kane, or the pawns. And Old Scratch learned why witch doctors don't attack Kane until he's the all-or-nothing target or you are willing to take a huge risk. In my next battle opportunity, I learned the hard way that my strategy is impossible without the Electric Slide. Queen and friends get in way too fast, and there's too little time to fight back effectively against her. I also took a mental note that Kane defuses traps when he teleports on them. However, sometimes this happened, and others it didn't in my trials. I believe he removes one layer of trap, or this feature might be random altogether. Now, as a musketeer when I battled Deacon, I noticed his overwatch could actually play in my favor instead due to quick draw and burst fire. I also started having Queen's voice haunt me here after having died to her about 7 times in a row now. Determined with my new experience from watching over my footage, I went to quell that laughter and ran into a problem instantly. No electric slide. The good news! You can flee at no penalty in the first round, aside from having to use a life fountain and walk all the way back. Which made later trials take longer to start sometimes, but much more effective when I finally got what I needed. I did quell that laughter in this battle, however. Here, I finally had enough experience through trial and error to know exactly how to reliably kill off Queen. Note the stacked bombs. Large area and huge amounts of damage. If that's what they have to go through to immediately attack you, they will do so. Bishop actually didn't Witch Hunter Old Scratch when he used his area of effect attack, but that may have been a glitch since it certainly was not the same story for Rook and Kane. Near the end, I forgot to continue to utilize my traps and started running, rolling a 1 on the luck card. Remember, Pirate 101 has luck involved, and any strategy may have an outlier death due to simply dumb luck. Just plow forward and try again. Just saying, Deacon was never this amazing ever again. And he also defuses all the bombs I lay down in every match. He's attracted to them. He loves them. Quite often, he'll walk straight into them when you least want him to. Despite dying to the most annoying spellcasting sound ever, this was still my first close victory. In this attempt, I was pleased to discover Gracie didn't have to be next to Scratch to get the buff due to being a privateer, and formally figured out Queen has alert, though it was apparent even from Battle 1. Claw traps will not work on her, so use that to your advantage on Rook or the pawns that may take a similar path of attack. The Golem may assist you by drawing enemy fire, however keep in mind he may wander off on his own and be little help after 1 round. Do not rely on this Golem 100% outside the initial summon and ensure the only thing getting within a square of Kane is this Golem. Also, note in this battle, I remained aggressive to the pawns first and foremost after turn 1 due to their high dodge and queen potential when I failed to hold them back. The last thing I learned before Bishop waggle-zapped me was to be mindful of all buffs you have on and to make use of them while they are still in play, as well as utilizing the barricade to force Bishop to move. We'll get back to that idea in the next battle, however. This battle taught me how crucial good spawns really are to this strategy, or any strategy really. Lewis couldn't be buffed by Scratch and ultimately crippled this attempt because I had to focus more time and energy to kill Rook. If Lewis had the mojo flow, Rook's death would have happened much sooner. However, that wasn't in my control. The horrible placing of that barricade totally was. Block their vision, not yours. And remember that in the late battle, mobility is key. I will say that looking back on this situation did help me make my final strategy, however. At this point, you can tell that Bishop is the new queen, and I'm getting sick of hearing and I'm ready to take him out. I found an interesting discrepancy. Double tap 3 will pierce Ricochet. However, this means you need to crit another target and be lucky enough to double tap onto Rook to use this mechanic successfully. So like the Golem, don't rely on this very heavily. This battle also helped me with my final strategy when I looked back at the footage and took in my ability's damage versus Rook's health. Speaking of Rook, my lust to kill Bishop paid off, but also preserved Rook's lifespan. In the beginning of this battle, I put my trap where Kane's first move is, which is a poor decision considering he can't die until he's the last man standing. And as a musketeer, when he is the last person standing, he's lost the battle because he can't reach you unless you make a critical mistake or die to a bishop pea shooter. In this battle and battles to come, I made a conscious effort not to push done after I made my last move, because reviewing if that plan logically works out may save a crew member's life. I nearly got Scratch in range of Kane and then later let him die to Kane, who teleports away when he gets to the end of the board legit, or when he kills on that end of the board. I'm not sure which because this was the only instance I ever saw him do that. The next battle, I really started watching my enemy more thoroughly. Keep the order of his clowns moved in mind and try to lay out traps for specific targets in that order. Kane and Queen always move first and second respectively, but Queen will sometimes pass instead of lash out in the first round. And notice how the Armada will avoid traps when possible. They aren't total idiots, which is why I rarely, if ever, place my traps like the kegs and barricade on diagonals. This battle mostly taught me my strategy at the time crumbled in the late battle, and I had to fix it. I mean, take a look at that ricochet! I wasn't about to allow Lewis to stay out of all the mojo action. I learned instead that he has to spawn next to Scratch, as well as Scratch doesn't long distance reach a player musketeer. I finally realized something key in this battle as well. Rook is the only real way Kane has of maneuvering in this battle. So don't directly attack Rook unless you're prepared to flee Kane or kill Rook. Most of all, this battle taught me that the player can courtly promote as well. I didn't get to see what it did at the time though. There's that laugh again. Boo! 2 battles left, and at this point I was mostly experimenting to find a way to patch my strategy in the late game. I began to believe Kane's order of play might be changing from battle to battle here, but Queen was simply passing that first round. An interesting thing about this play I discovered looking back was when Gracie Conrad's mind chain through units. It also passed through Kane's portal, before and after he teleported. Nifty trick, huh? Other than that, this play flopped mainly due to my breaking a formation before I had killed Queen. Right. Granted, the slide she took didn't help matters, but running away doesn't work until she's out of the picture. I could have circled around after her demise to do a second take on Rook in the minefield. Do note, hurting Rook during a turn with that double tap made Kane teleport to Rook and allowed him to instantly attack on the next turn, destroying old Scratch. I know I said the previous battle was an experiment, but this was an experiment from the beginning. New team, all different classes, and I had a shooty slashy weapon. I did this to find out how well that played with my epics because I would now have the physical combat option. They didn't work. No Overwatch, no quick draw, nothing. I find it was more useful to have these epics when battling because most of my enemies are not Rook, and bringing them down passively while getting the mines out is worth the risk in my opinion. While this off-the-wall trial was a train wreck, I did learn a lot from it. Contessa's being invisible is the best way to regroup, and in the case of a musketeer, lay down more traps or make a stronger attack, such as when I walled myself in. She also showed me companions do not courtly promote, and gave me enough time to discover courtly promoting the player allows the player to move anywhere on the board. If you want to take an aggressive stance in this battle, try to pull the battle to that side, because the pawns do not prioritize becoming queens over dealing damage, unlike any player would. Lastly, this gave a good visual representation of how far the Armada is willing to move in this battle, and considering the abrupt stop they have when they get next to Rook, I believe it may immobilize their own units, but also amp up their armor. With the end of that battle, I had enough knowledge and inspiration to finally patch the hole in my late game plan. So here we go! The final battle. So what I did was grind the Dutchman for his charm that would boost my spell power to enhance my bombing round damage. It made a huge difference when Scratch started boosting the boost. It went from 5% to 10% to 15% if my math is correct. And I only had to fight Dutchman twice. I didn't even work all that hard for it considering everything is a one-shot in that dungeon at this point. The sniper shot was really nice to have as well though, because I think it also boosts with the spell power. But more importantly, I have an infinite range with it and a guaranteed crit. In addition, I bought a hat from the bazaar that gives me walk in darkness. This would allow me to hide when necessary and give me time to prepare myself before engaging again, as well as give a strong hit when the 4 rounds are over. Alright, so this is my setup for basically the late game battle. Well, to patch up the hole, to give myself defense and an offense to get back in the game when everything hinges on that. And we're doing the setup here. I had to walk in like 6 or 7 times for this, something like that. Lewis was just refusing to work with Old Scratch, like, he was holding grudges. But yeah, so I'm actually recording this commentary post commentary. So this is after I edited that montage, and I hope you guys liked it. It took a long time to edit, but I hope it's helpful to show off a million little tips that you might want to try, because not every Kane trial is perfect. In fact, I'm pretty sure none of them are. Even this one had flaws in it. But you know, you just have to get things to roll in your favor by being pretty flexible. So a bunch of little plans of changes to plan of attack should help with that. And so that was one big idea, as well as showing kind of the process between how people come up with these things. Because I know that they just kind of walk in like, hey guys, look, we beat the game, yeah. And I was like, dude, how'd you do that? Because blind reaction. You saw my blind reaction. I was like, okay, what's going on? Especially with the quarterly promotions. Not prepared for that. So, because I've actually covered most of those tips and stuff with the other post commentary, I think I'll probably, for the most part, talk over this one with kind of how I felt about Pirate 101 as a whole. Normally we have credits for that, but I didn't roll the credits after this, and I talk about future plans and such after this anyway, so we will have past me do that job. So currently, I think Pirate 101 is still a really great game. Like, I personally enjoy it more than Wizard 101 because they stuck to kind of keeping it simple in ways. Like in Wizard 101, they like to introduce a new system every once in a while, such as the shower pips, such as shadow pips, or pip conversion now, or piercing, or the crit block. They put in completely new systems they have to learn and get used to in Wizard 101, and for me it was really hard to get used to it, and I don't think I ever got used to it with Celestia. That's kind of where I ended off. But Pirate 101, they just keep adding on new abilities to what you've already had. And I really like that because things keep rolling. And even with the enemies, like Rook, I really liked the Rook fight when I first did it, before I realized I was completely obsolete. Because he has abilities that you've never seen before, but the abilities still work with Pirate 101. It's not like a new system. We're not getting new abilities out of the blue or anything. It's building off of what we already have, and that's the simplicity I kind of like about it. Easy to learn, hard to master, and it sticks to that. You don't have to relearn things, and that's what I really liked about it. However, I do kind of wish we could axe off some of our abilities, or we were limited to 1 page of abilities or something, because oh my goodness, the amount of times I had to restart to get my electric slide was insane, because I have like 2 pages worth of abilities. Like, we need to fix that. I've gotten a few requests for PvP as well, and I have done a bit of PvP, but by no means am I really competitive material. Like, this is only casual stuff I've done. I haven't actually like gone head to head and don't think I have the gear for that, and I don't really want to get the gear for that, just because it's a lot of time. And after doing Moo Manchu once, I decided I was not willing to do that stuff. And there's still an electric slide on there. Love those things. But yeah, so I hope that in the future Pirate 101 kind of keeps that simple attitude. I noticed that they put in some rather overpowered gear as drops from this. I talk about that later, but I'm not sure how I feel about that. Like, there's a Buccaneer thing that splits your armor in half and your speed. And so I'm kind of... I don't know how to feel about that, because that is rather deadly. And if we get more abilities like that, we're gonna have this mess where, like in my case with Overwatch 3, they're basically gonna become obsolete, and you don't want them. Because I was like, oh, Overwatch 3, I lowered their accuracy. This is amazing. It's so overpowered, but at least I can get through things easier now. Nope. In fact, it didn't really change much because they have guaranteed criticals now. I'm also a musketeer, so my dodge is really crappy. Kind of weird how they designed it so Buccaneers can get elusive and turn the tide, so that way they get a double dodge boost at level 70. And so I'm just kind of like, whoa, dude, whoa. That makes my life hard. Yeah, Scratch, you do that laugh. Let's see. I'm trying to think of any other final thoughts I might have. You can also tell at this point things have really turned in my favor, though. Like at this point, I'm at that point where this is usually where I would begin to crumble in the regular strategies, because then, you know, Rook would get in, and then Kane would get in, and then when that happened, I'd have to move and flee, and then I wouldn't have time to recover from it, which is why I prepared myself with those new abilities, which is kind of ironic because they never showed up. Well, they do show up, but not here, not at this point, when I probably would have used it. So I had to run anyway. I didn't discard any abilities though, because I did have another plan. And I was also trying to make the Mojo Flow work with it in the next turn, but I forgot. Hey, yeah, I forgot my own tip there. Hey guys, turns out Scratch doesn't get you because you're a player. He only gets you when you're one of his own. The Mojo people. Which would be a privateer and a witch doctor. Still surprised that Kane isn't a privateer, because they said he had strength, wisdom, and agility. So when I think of that, I think of a privateer, because privateers have the most they're the most versatile of classes. They can pair with any other class, I think, successfully, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's how it's been working out in the Nuzlocke at any rate. And speaking of the Nuzlocke, we might be seeing a few more of those soon. But Link is extremely busy, as I've told before. But I'm hoping we can really muscle on it. We're getting near the summer vacation of Cool Ranch. That's what we decided to call the part where you leave it, because it feels like summer vacation. It's so fun and fast, and then you're sucked right back into the drag. I wonder why they made Cool Ranch so long. Like they could have like changed it up, like made you go back to Conquista, or you know, do something in Dragonspire. I don't know. Dragonspire. Really hope that's a world, because I'm pretty sure that the Draconians would not just leave the wizard alone. That strategy right there of shooting Rook, heal myself from the damage I'm going to take and whittle him down as much as I possibly can, so he will die to bombs. Because that was my plan, because I ran away probably a little too much in my earlier plans. And I had already utilized my bombs basically to their max potential in this battle, which I was really happy about. And there's those Bishop P-shooters. By the way, no one ever died to any of those, ever. Like, they'll whittle you down, but I've never seen them kill anyone. I'm sure they can, but you'd have to be, like, basically dead in the first place. Like, less than 100 HP or something. And so this is where Kane forces me to split up from my crew, but that's okay, because that opens up the opportunity to courtly promote. It was in the back of my head the whole time to courtly promote, but like in real chess, you don't want that to be in the front. You want to do that, you want to have that as an option when you can, and not as a full-on strategy. In fact, with my 11th battle, that was the main reason why I changed up crew, besides my main crew having died, was just to figure out what courtly promoting does. And I actually learned a lot more than just what courtly promoting does, which was very good. Changing things up helped a lot. It was actually after this, I was like, I did it. I beat the game. Therefore, I can beat anything. And so I took that momentum, went to Smash Bros. Because Master Fortress is absolutely insane. And I actually beat that too, eventually. And so I was happy with that. Yeah, the strategy I'm pulling out here, I actually end up pulling out next turn because I still have bombs on the field. So I wanted to utilize those, but I also kept in mind that Bishop has that, you know, area of attack thing, so I need to spread out my units to ensure that he can't hit more than one of us, so that way we can whittle him down faster than he's whittling us down. I think that's basically the only big discrepancy between, or the only real thing I could pull out of learning this battle. And as you can tell from the commentary, the beginning battles I had a lot more to learn than the later battles, but I still needed all of it together for this to really work. See, there's the bombs in action. Like, it wasn't as much as I'd hoped, but it was worth it. But then the next problem was now he's in the middle of the map, so it's impossible to really get away from him at this point because everything is 5 tiles or less away from him, so the world is his. So that's why I was like, alright, buff time, go kill. Now that was a poor decision I did there because that skeleton guy would only have one active turn before Kane would be in range to kill him. But I was afraid of him getting shot with a pea shooter because I don't remember how much health these things have. I think they amp up with your spell power, these summon dudes, but I'm no witch doctor, so I wouldn't know these things. So I just kind of kept rolling with the punches. But yeah, I guess, yeah, I've already covered my future wishes in this game. I want Dragonspire, care most about the storyline and stuff in this game, because in Wizard 101 you're kind of like, you're basically like this guy that makes no mistakes, everything's perfect. Well, I guess you have that time where you don't finish off as Tekasar. It did get a little bit more in depth as things went on, but I don't know too much about that. But I really want to see Dragonspire because the Wizard and the Pirate have been helping these worlds together. And yeah, Scratch fizzled, and then I forgot that thing was there. The Wizard and Pirate, they've been working together for a lot of these worlds, like with Mushu, the Pirate's cleaning things up before the Wizard gets there, so the Wizard can revitalize the land from all the toxins and stuff. And the Pirate was cleaning up the biggest threats to the power in Mushu. And so I found that to be really, really interesting. So I really hope there's, like, basically they all the two almost meet together, and I think Dragonspire would be the best place for that because the Wizard needs to fight Malister, but the Draconians, I'm pretty sure, would try to march up as a massive army to stop this because they want the dragons to return. So I had like this envisioning of the Wizard having like this giant battle with Malister on the Great Spire, and then the Pirates on the base of the mountain having another giant battle with like 1,000,000 Draconians trying to get in. I'm not sure what the motivation would be for the Pirate to get there in the first place would be, but I'm sure we could figure something out. Oh yeah, there goes the Walk in Darkness. That was me preparing for everything to go wrong, basically. I learned that from hardcore. Anything can go wrong, so make sure you're staying ahead of it whenever you can. But with the Kingsisle layoff thing, I think Pirate 101 suffered most from that. Because they lost like Boochbeard, and you know they took away a huge amount of staff, and I'm pretty sure, like, Wizard 101's their main thing, that kept them running, so I think a lot of the cuts went to Pirate 101 instead. And you know, I'm amazed that they actually had to let go of Boochbeard, because Boochbeard is pretty critical to this game. There's the pea shooter, not killing again. Like, you know, he starts it up, and he's always just kind of there, just kind of telling you, giving you advice and such. And you actually see him a few times in the game itself, but I don't know. I guess I'm done. I'm all out of time. We're going back to the past me now. But thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. Took a lot of time to do this, and we'll segue back into past me now. Alright, everyone, I've done it. Oh, 20, I think 4 deaths in a row, and 3 strategies.
Not like this. Not like this. I must not.
Checkmate, you devil. Checkmate.
I'm nervous still. What's happening? No, please no. Please no. 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 Wait. Is that the gateway to El Dorado? Had to have been. Hello?
What the devil's going on here?
Kane's good and brain. Something take it far away from here. I cannot see where it gone. Mighty mojo indeed. Captain, the crystals.
Son, hear me.
Oh, that's amazing. That's an awesome picture.
Hear us.
Captain, it's your parents.
Once again. Oh, I was so afraid of another battle, like a battle that went. Oh, I did it! Without the use of grinding.
El Dorado, let it go, my child. Gold is nothing. The spiral is everything. You have saved it.
We are so proud of you. Now we shall know peace.
Oh, Captain, my Captain, it be true. The ghosts of your parents, they be home.
This is wonderful. Captain, you have saved them. Bless you.
They are gone. But have no fear, my friend. You may be an orphan, but you shall always have a family.
Thanks, Lewis. I appreciate it.
It's true. Captain, you're the best. The best.
The best.
I love that, because I actually kept Ratbeard from dying. He had 40 hit points just before this. I blazed in here with no one dying. It was incredible.
Aw, take heart, you old rascal. Captain, I don't know about you, but I'm getting tired of Valencia. It's time to go home. What say we tell Captain Avery the good news?
Oh, that's... But if my parents aren't in El Dorado, then why? Why tell us to go there in the beginning of the game? I'm pretty sure this is the gateway to El Dorado right here, though. Pretty sure that was Kane's plan B. Because why else would he go through all this trouble? He had several plans, so we have to go to El Dorado, whether we like it or not one day. I'm almost certain of it. Oh. Oh, mojo. Give me the mojo, even though I don't need it. I should probably put back on my cool hat. I kinda hate this hat. I only used it because I had to. Oh, but there we go, everyone. Proof that you can do it as a musketeer, solo, without the use of any doubloons or any crowns shop gear or anything like that. I'll show you guys what Gracie and Lewis have, because that differs most from person to person. But there's that, so pause the game. I wish I didn't do that. Wish I gave him Spooky too, but I was an idiot at the time when that was a new feature. I didn't know what it would do. There's Lewis and Gracie.
Yes.
So there you go. If you want to try and mimic that, now let's talk to Avery.
Welcome, pirate, and congratulations! The news is spreading like wildfire. Kane is defeated.
For the most part.
Sadly, the Armada is still in operation, but without Kane's leadership, I'm sure it will burn itself out quickly. Who'd have thought the green little urchin who walked through my door so long ago would grow up to be the pirate who'd beat Kane himself?
I'm insulted, Avery.
It's a shame about El Dorado. But then, if Marco Pollo found his way there once, maybe you can do it again someday. But even if you don't, there's plenty of other treasure waiting to be plundered. Rig your sails, Captain. There's pirating to be done.
I'm just scared. This is how people know Queen is still alive, isn't it? Dude, it has them on the exact positions I took them out in the battle board. I think, maybe. It looks awfully close. What? Okay. I've never beat Mark. Well, I've killed Malister before, I guess, but I've never really done it like that. Good thing I spent all my money. I can actually accept my rewards. Holy crap, though. That is spooky beyond spooks. But that's the end of the game. I do know that there's companion promotions. Apparently Gracie has one at 70. I think someone else does as well. I don't know if I'll do them or not, because I'd have to do a bunch of side questing. But yeah, so that was the end of Pirate 101. Part of me thinks that the reason why they dropped El Dorado might have been because they might not have expected Pirate 101 to continue to last. And so they're like, just in case, we'll take out Kane, and if the game is able to keep running, we will allow this segue. But who knows? I'm sure Kingsisle will figure something out. I'm excited for the future. And wow, I can't believe I did it. Let's go get the cool hat on, though. Give me my cool hat. I like it. What did I even get from there? I didn't even look. Probably crap. I got that. I know that, but that's junky, junk, and more junk. Actually, I could probably look it up. That's not gonna help me much. Oh, what is that? Hold the line, and first mate's booed. What? I'm confused. That looks kind of crummy. Anything else? Oh, I gotta get something good. Quick adjusting, true grit. Oh, wow. You know what? I don't even care. I really don't. Unless I get true grit 2, I don't care. And quick adjust is kind of bleh. Like, if I can't hit someone, there's something wrong with my job. I'm doing something wrong. But thank you guys for watching this series. Like I said, I'm not quite sure what I'll do next. Maybe I'll do a Smuggler's Den. Maybe I will try PvP. I don't know. I'd have to be level 70 for that first. Problem is I wouldn't, like, spend too much time trying to plan for that or grind for that, so I'd be way under geared, probably. That's how I roll, I guess. Anyway, Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in another video and series. See you next time. You know, I do believe these crystals are the explanation for the courtly promotions and stuff, because they're on all sides of the corners, so they obviously have to do something, but they're not in the battle itself, so that must be what they're here for. They are the bad mojo, the courtly promotion. Ah.